Welcome to the Daily Exchange. We're back, guys, and we're coming back. Everything's coming back. Everything's coming back. And we're going to talk about Bitcoin in 2020 with the next halvening. We got some graphs. We got some stats. We got all the things coming at you. We'll see you right after this, guys. All right, guys, welcome back. We're in the land of green. Green times. Joel, what's your favorite color?
Blue, but green's also good.
I just saw on BitMax, which just launched a new exchange, that red on that exchange means up and blue and green means down. I would just really play with my senses. It is Viking cryptocurrency day today, I've decided, so I have braided my hair into a Viking format in order for us to plunder and discover the future of Bitcoin. We were up around $6,500, guys. We're back, and Ethereum is over $300. $300! Woo, 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 woo! EOS trading at $5.31. It's pretty cool, pretty cool. XRP also quite up over the on Friday and then pulled back about 5%. Very interesting at 34 cents right now. 34.67 cents, in fact. Interesting times. So Ripple, there are lots of interesting tweets going out. Joel, if you want to bring us up some of these interesting tweets and speculations right now, let's talk about them. Let's talk about in detail. XRP, sorry, not Ripple. XRP, not Ripple. So we've got, some news obviously about Ripple's senior vice president met with Binance CEO Changpeng Zhao late last week at the European offices of the just launched and Binance-backed LCX fiat to crypto exchange. That's kind of a big deal, right? And there's a lot of speculation right now on Twitter about the potential for XRP to potentially be the base currency of cryptocurrency. Do you have any tweets about this, Joel? Ripple tweets. We got any Ripple tweets? Maybe there are some Ripple tweets. Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse scheduled to do a live stream. Ask me anything. Bring back Brad Garlinghouse. Brad Garlinghouse. There he is. CZ and a Ripple senior vice president hanging out, high-fiving, Liechtensteinen. Then you've got Wednesday at 3 p.m. Garlinghouse will sit down for a live stream. Ask me anything, moderated by Corey TV. Got questions for him, let us know. Is there something going on between Binance and XRP and LCX? Joel. My speculationometer says yes. All right, moving on. Litecoin lost significant value over the past 7 days, but it's slowly pulled back. We're trading at around 58 bucks. Basically, Crypto Globe is suggesting that Litecoin could potentially, if it pushes past the $60 level, could soar. Soar. It'll continue to fluctuate, obviously, along the same path right now, but it also helps that Zulu Republic has developed a digital wallet that allows users to transact Litecoin on Telegram. So sending crypto to user is a hot trend right now. You will remember, obviously, Cointex, we talked about last week. We're sending Bitcoin Cash. And Crypterium, love Crypterium, led by former CEO of Visa UK, allows crypto transfers via SMS. It's all happening now, really. Crypto to SMS, wallet transfers. People are really getting into this. Let's talk about Tron for a second. Tron has now enabled a new payment platform called Seedit that Kanye and the Pope have both been receiving cryptocurrency on. Have you got any tweets around this, Joel? A key point, of course, You can already use XRP to tip with Reddit, Twitter and Discord, and Redcoin and Nano, apparently. So what are we saying here? Kanye, your wallet is filling up, buddy. Here are 50 more TRX for you, plus 50 Ghost Seeded TRX, Kanye West, there it is. And the Pope is officially a TRX holder with the help of Ghost Seeded, Operation Tronstorm, Crypto Tron. By embracing God's love, we change the world and transform history. That's heavy. It sounds a bit like, you know, like anytime you read like a CEO's statement and a cult leader's statement, they kind of, you know, you're never quite sure what's the difference. Joel, send out the, I was just on that startup show and there was a quiz between cult leaders versus CEOs. And you should hear some of the lines. Paste it out for everyone so they can watch it. It's on Gizmodo. I did it last week and I was extremely sick during the episode. I could barely actually hear, but it's pretty funny what some of the cult leaders say versus the CEOs. Moving on. Basic Attention Token, the Brave browser now has 3 million downloads. That's getting up there. People are liking these blockchain browsers. And also the BAT token has just added as well, tipping on Reddit and Twitter. So that obviously can be done with the BAT crypto wallet, which is built into the browser as well, which is kind of cool. IOTA is doing its part to lead the recovery, up 10%, along the way to a much more intuitive use. Trinity Desktop Wallet public beta has really helped. IOTA. They're launching a hub soon with integration to exchanges being much easier. It's already being used to get IOTA listed on big Korean exchange Upbit. That's kind of cool. VeChain flew up 50%. It dropped back 10%, and now it's back up 15% again. Go VeChain. VeChain is really moving. What does VeChain do? I swear we talked about it last week. Still up 15.98% versus Bitcoin. Whoa, it just went up 16%. It's really moving out here. Zcash. Users and miners have been advised to upgrade to the latest software version, apparently as soon as possible. The prominent privacy coin, ranked 20th in market cap, is preparing for the release of its sapling hard fork, expected in late October. Zcash is up about 2% right now. All right, let's talk about airdrops. Speaking of forks, let's talk about airdrops. We've got obviously an airdrop. Actually, there's an article about this we need to bring up, isn't there? We've been talking about. What is an airdrop? An airdrop is where you get free cryptocurrencies sent to your wallet. Now, the guys downstairs have put together this incredible calendar of airdrops, so you can come and join them. This whole calendar here will tell you where to get it, how to get it, what to do, what not to do, when to do it, and how to do it again. And there's a little article about here actually that helps you understand what an airdrop is. But basically you need to get an ERC20, either an ERC20 wallet or an EOS wallet, and buy yourself either some EOS or some Ethereum, or depending on if it's on another chain, maybe Neo. You need to have and hold those coins so that you can get the airdrops. And this is an incredible guide which has been put together by the crew downstairs. And you can, you can go and pick up all these free coins. Free coins! There's also another site here, airdrops.io, with a few other coins. And for the EOS airdrops coming up, the eosdrops.io will help you understand when those ones are coming out as well. Lots of airdrops coming out on EOS, lots of airdrops because of the way it works really is to build that hype and build that awareness with the new EOS blockchain, and these coins obviously trying to do that in a major way. It's actually been kind of working. You know, I think people know about Everipedia to some extent because of that airdrop that they did on the EOS blockchain, which is kind of cool. Obviously, just be careful that you are not putting your public key or private key together in some sort of random place to get the airdrop. It should just be sent to your address. You shouldn't have to do anything. So just be really, really careful with that. You can see Redcoin there, we were talking about just before, is really flying up, 26%. Not exactly sure what's going on there. Now, there is something going on with airdrops, but the SEC is cracking down potentially and having a look at some of these and trying to figure out whether or not these are marketing efforts or they are some sort of breach of security law. So watch out for that space. That is not going to stop you from getting airdrops. I do think it's going to continue, but do be careful with your airdrops in terms of a marketing tactic, and there may be some news coming out. But right now, it's all good to go. Airdrop away. Maybe call that airstrike. It's too funny. Future trends, let's talk about the Bitcoin reward. Now, here is something really interesting. It's going up all over Twitter and Reddit right now, because let's just break this down. So let's just go back in time. What we're talking about here is the rewards you get paid for mining a Bitcoin block. In other words, the block with all the transactions, you mine it, you prove it, sweet, you get paid. In 2012, November 2012 was the first halvening. Now I'm going to bring up this diagram in more detail. Let's see here. First halvening here, obviously the Bitcoin price, it pulled back. You can see here, halvening happened, Bitcoin price went up. The second halvening happened in July 2016. You can see here, price came down, halvening happened, price went up. The third halvening, which we're talking about, is potentially going to happen around this May 2020 mark. Now this is a critical date. Now you can see potentially that a lot of these prices have sort of pulled back a bit and then gone up. You know, what this potentially is forecasting is Bitcoin going to dip back down to around $3,000 US before the next halvening, which will lead to the next big spike, which could end up being around $160,000 per Bitcoin. Wow. Wow. You know, only time will tell, really. The important thing to note as well is the amount of time it took for the downturn to go down. You can see here, 161 days for this one, 413 days for this one. This one's pitching potentially 665 days. So that's about 200, 150, that's 416, 665. It's an interesting time period, right? Now, this could obviously all change. This is all speculation. This is not financial advice as well. I've got nothing to do with financial advice, never have been, never will be. This is not financial advice. And essentially, what could happen is that with other news and other events, and as this market exponentially gets bigger and bigger and more developers come in, and this whole entire growth of this industry expands, what you might see is that this timeline could shorten. Could potentially shorten. And what that might mean is that prices could really fly even harder. You can see here there's a lot of pullbacks and ups and downs back down here. See this little part here? Maybe we're back down here, coming back up, back down. But we've got to hit this real rock bottom level. Now, they're forecasting that level to be just around here, which could be around that $3,000 mark for Bitcoin. That's pretty intense, right? And then, but that could steady out, and I think around that price, like if Bitcoin was $3,000, or even 2.5 or 3 grand, would you buy some Bitcoin as a retail investor? Just as a punter, would you buy some Bitcoin at 3 grand? That's my question. Joel, would you buy Bitcoin at $3,000?
I am considering it. Just I'm just thinking about it. Like every day when we do this show, I'm like, that's interesting. I don't want to give any financial advice.
No, definitely not giving financial advice. But at the end of the day, what's really, really interesting, I think what's really interesting, is that when does it become really cheap for a retail investor to get back in, right? They saw the first wave, and when do they FOMO back in? When is it going to happen? And that, I think, is the price that Bitcoin needs to get to before this whole retail investor comes back. Obviously, this doesn't take into account regulation, doesn't take into account multiples of growth, doesn't take into all sorts of different things. Now, there's a really good thread here If everything surrounding Bitcoin stay the same, okay, but it doesn't, it's moving a lot faster and it takes completely different directions than everybody was expecting. So don't bother looking at TA and let's just see. We can't predict the future by looking at the past. We can obviously predict the halvenings. I think that's a really interesting point. But extrapolating this, you know, I think it's really, really, really interesting to look at the timeline as this graph plays out, right? You know, even I guess also potentially with these futures market, that could change how it goes up. We didn't have those in those other previous halvenings, so we could see a different price movement. We could see a much more stable price. You know, but we could see a lot of people are speculating back to 2014, 2016, right? If Bitcoin doesn't attract big money, then this scenario is very probable. However, if it starts to attract big money, symmetries this chart relies upon are no longer valid. That's super aggressive. It's true, but, right? It's true. All of these, there's a lot of comments going on about this. What do you guys think? Where do you think we're going to go? I for one, believe that we're about to enter the complete, much more mainstream market of Bitcoin. We've got to pull back way, and then suddenly people will go, wow, that's cheap, I'm going to get back in, and I'm not going to miss the next big rise. I think realistically that's what's going to happen. But right now, we're still in a bit of a downturn. We're potentially going to go back up. I don't know, where do you think we're going to go from here, Joel? Are you feeling an up or a down?
I don't know, Fred. What do you think? I would ask you.
Ask me. I think we're going to go back up for a bit. Let's have a look at Bitcoin right now. You know, I think if you have a look at the price, let's go back a bit in time. Take some daily. It's kind of like it feels like it's gone back down. It's gone back down. It's gone, and it needs to come back up around here, maybe. You know, back up around here, around this 7,000 mark, and then it might take another dip down. But that 5,755 mark, it seems to be the one that seems to be holding pretty strong in terms of that bottom, which is interesting, right? But do we test that again? We didn't quite get there, which is really interesting. We kind of almost got there, but we didn't. And I think right now we're going to see some people come back into the market because they're going to FOMO in because then maybe they think it's going to, you know, go up here or it could go down here. I really think we're going to potentially get down. It's this question of, will we test the $5,755 mark? That's the question. Well, would you buy Bitcoin at $5,700 or would you wait and buy at $4,000? That's the question the market's going to play out. And there's no way you can know. All right, guys, I'm going to bring this show to a close. Thank you so much for tuning in. Do subscribe. Do follow us. Do get into cryptocurrency. Tell your friends, tell your mom, tell your daughter, tell your girlfriend, tell everyone out there to get yourself schooled up on cryptocurrency and tell them about the daily exchange and Crypto Finder. I'll see you guys tomorrow.